everyone. Welcome back to the Corporate Talk. Today, I have a guest to talk about international career and what do we learn when we live and work abroad. Different cultures, different languages. What do we bring to our personal and professional life? Welcome, Cadu. Thank you for joining here the call and the talk today.
Thank you,
Could
thank you, thank you very much. First of all, thank you for the invitation for this talk. It's a pleasure. Also, like always, good to share experience, exchange knowledge. So, Caro, yeah, this is a very good initiative, and I'm glad to be here.
And I'm very happy also to announce that you are the new host of the Corporate Talk. I'm also happy to have you also to be pushing this initiative further. So I'm very glad. Maybe can you introduce a little bit about yourself, your background, where you have been around in the last years?
Okay, yeah, sure. So first of all, I guess my whole name is a very long name, so I have many last names. So this is also a topic when living internationally because I have Carlos Eduardo de la Cerda Garcia Clarim. So every time that I need to fill any form, sometimes it's like really tough because cut my name. So this is the reason that I've chosen to take the Cadu as my nickname. So Cadu is someone that is really passionate about culture, and I've lived in 4 different countries. So counting in Brazil. So I lived back in 2006 until 2008. I was living in Argentina with my whole family. So that was my first international experience. And over there, I learned how to speak Spanish. It's similar to Portuguese, but when you are there and you need to communicate, and also during the education, you need to learn all the culture stuff. You need to adapt your behavior and everything else, right? I also lived in Germany, so I was working already for a big company called Siemens. I started back in 2013, and I moved to Germany in 2019. So I moved to Nuremberg. I've lived there for 3 years, and me and my wife, we both went to the same university. We are both engineers. We were living together in Germany. She was also working over there. And we were like, okay, now after 3 years, we need to prepare our way back to Brazil because we love the country. So we have lived in different countries, but we are passionate about the Brazilian culture. We were preparing everything, and then suddenly, out of a joke that I was doing with my future boss, we were just joking about an opportunity that it was in the US. And I talked to my wife, and after like 3 4 months, we were moving to Atlanta in the US. And that was a very good experience. And we are here for more than 3 years now. So we arrived back in 2022, and we are here in 2025 and counting, right? And now we both work for Siemens. So my wife is also, she has joined the same company.
And Kadu, very interesting. So, do you feel these international experiences brought something to your life? Did you learn something with different languages and cultures? Argentina, for example, is beside Brazil, but it's totally different culture. Also in the language, we can survive with Portuñol, but it's not the same. Also Germany, a totally different culture. In US as well. Do you feel something changed in you in personal and professional life?
Ah, totally. So each experience has a lot of like uh, I'd say like beautiful things and also challenges, right? Because when you talk about like living abroad, everybody thinks that, oh, you are earning more money, you have like all the uh, it's not like everything is beautiful, but all the challenges I would say that made me stronger, right? So when I moved to Germany, my first shock was something about the culture itself, because we always hear that life's too short to learn German. So this is something that I've learned how to speak German and during some meetings in German, but and now I don't want to lose it. So I try to keep talking to my former colleagues in Germany. But like when we moved to some of the countries, this changed a lot in our personal life and our professional life, right? So uh, to adapt to a new country, everything matters because you have the weather. So in Germany, for me, it was a big challenge having a winter that can last for, I don't know, 6 months, and you have like gray sky and like cold temperature, like low temperature, and this is a challenge. When you're like just going for fun, it's really good. You can ski, you can do all those stuff, but if you're living in a day to day is quite a challenge. So this was one of the main factors that we wanted to move or back to Brazil or here to the US. Here in Atlanta, we have a good weather most of the time, and we have like blue sky, so this was like very good. But also like some of the characteristics of the countries, I would say in Germany, as we are very proud of our culture from the Brazilian culture. My wife is she's an engineer, but she's always like close to a chef, so she's always like cooking, and I am the sous chef, just cutting some stuff. And there was once that we were with so we invited some of her former colleagues from her company to feijoada. So we needed to bring everybody, like around like 10, 12 people. And we said, okay, we need to schedule this feijoada. So can you guess like how long it took to uh, get this on our calendars? Like it was like maybe a couple of days, some weeks, or maybe months. What do you think?
Some days? No.
Months. So we were
Months.
trying, like we started talking about that, I guess in August, and then the feijoada we did, I guess, end of November, something around that, because they had already like a lot of their schedules, and they had a lot of meetings and everything, so we could do it like by the end of November. So they asked a lot of questions about, oh, what's the dress code, what time should we arrive. We said, okay, we explained. So feijoada is around noon. We are gonna eat, and then we can eat again and again, and there's no time to end our event, right? So 11:58, we looked out of the window, and there were like five or close to eight people already like waiting, and then they didn't ring the bell, and like when it was like 12 o'clock, they rang the
They
bell,
ring the bell.
and we arrived, and then they arrived. It was very formal, and then after, I'd say, 10, 15 minutes, that me and my wife, we were like putting a lot of work to make everybody like comfortable, like this is informal. We had like pão de queijo, we had like feijoada, also pudim, also
Oh,
like
they,
this was
oh,
like
I missed that.
complete experience with caipirinha and also guaraná.
Very
So
good, very good, very
so
good.
after, like they were like so comfortable with that, they arrived like around noon, and they left our apartment around like 11 p.m. or something, because they needed to
Wow,
catch the train to their like locations, right? So yeah, that was a very good experience.
that's a
In the
very good
beginning, we were
experience.
like really afraid of that, but then afterwards it turned out really well.
That's really fun story. And I'm sure if there was a Brazilian there in this invitation would come at 1 or
For
2
sure.
p.m., right?
For sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And talk about these cultural differences. Do you have any fun story of a cultural shock or something besides the calendar and the time, of course? I learned to use calendar here in Germany. I never
Yes,
used calendar before.
yes, yes, yes. I would say like one of the shocks that we had, it was in our second day that we moved to Germany. Maybe you're going to be familiar with that as well, because like in Nuremberg, we arrived on a Saturday afternoon, and we were going to a hotel where we were trying to like just walk around and know a little bit of the city, and then we were okay, we're gonna need to buy some food, some stuff to prepare our week. So we waited until Sunday, and then Sunday we went out there, and everything was closed.
Oh,
So
yeah.
everything was closed, like all the like we cannot do any groceries, and everything like was like the city was kind of like dead. And that was like our first shock, because then we were like searching some information, and oh yes, everything is closed on Sundays, so you need to plan in advance, or maybe you're gonna go on Monday. So that was like one of our first shocks. And also with the Sunday, they have kind of a rule of silence, like that you cannot like maybe vacuum your apartment or anything, because
True.
you cannot bother your neighbors, and yeah,
Yeah.
kind of like those cultural rules. And in Germany is very very strict. I'd say that you cannot cross the traffic. You cannot cross the street when this is like red for you, like
As
as
a pet.
you are just walking, and everybody's like
True.
ready. And as a Brazilian, the first time is like something that you can notice, right? Yeah.
That's true. That's true. That's funny. And I have a story, a short story that for me is was impactful, because in Brazil we have this tradition since we are kids. We learn to brush our teeth after eating. Every after meal we brush our teeth. In the companies, there's a line. I remember in São Paulo there was a line after lunch. Everyone is waiting to brush the teeth in the bathroom. And here in Germany, I started doing this when a colleague of mine said, "You don't do this here. We don't do this. For us, it's lack of hygiene." And then I stopped, but I was so feeling so bad. At least I have a Listerine in my in my drawer, because then I go at least to clean off my teeth very fast. But this was a cultural shock for me to
Yeah.
learn that here they see this as a bad thing in public in the
Yeah.
toilet of the company.
No, yeah,
But yeah,
I had the same experience, and I did exactly the same. I was like with my toothbrush, and I was like doing this, and I had the same experience. And I compare, uh, like this for me was like something that I couldn't understand, because like they feel that with your toothbrush, and this is like too personal, maybe like
yeah,
that
too
you're not.
personal.
But at the
Yeah,
same time, everything that they do, like for example in a sauna, how is the rule
true.
in the sauna, right? So this was something that I couldn't understand. So if you're watching us now, please Google sauna in Germany, that you're gonna find some interesting
Exactly.
characteristics. Yeah,
I think it's in Germany and some other countries, right? That you're
yeah,
totally free
yeah,
to, and in Brazil is not. And the people were also said, why in Brazil you're, but not. It's even
yeah,
separated, men and women,
yeah,
right? Yeah, interesting. And I believe living abroad always brings this question, am I going to live here forever? Will I ever come back? So you already shared that you and your wife were thinking to come back to Brazil, missing the Brazilian culture and the weather. Do you think what helped you to move forward and now be in the US as well? So is there any motivation behind that maybe helps the ones who are having the same questions? Will I ever come back? Do I stay here forever? Do you have some learnings in this? Yeah.
yeah. We have a lot, and I would say like the key of being like successful abroad is when you are married or you have a partner, you need to be really aligned with the expectations. And like if you are happy with the career and everything abroad, and your partner is not happy or is not adapted, this could be a point that you like, I would say, is a yellow flag that you need to talk. And this is very like I would say, like for me and my wife, we were talking in like in a daily base, like just calibrating if we were feeling the same and if we were with the right expectations, right? So the first time that we moved together, so it was to Germany. I was in a delegation, so it was kind of we knew a little bit how long we would stay in Germany, like around like 3 4 years. And then our original plan was going back to Brazil. So that was our first thought, and we both were really aligned on that. And when it was coming close to the third year, we were like already analyzing some opportunities back in Brazil. But then the plans changed, and we were like talking a lot and trying to understand the expectation, like moving to the US is so different from Germany and also different from Brazil. We have some similarities, but I would say like the key is always talk about the plans. Like you need to plan, you need to live like the present, but you need to think about the future in a way that you are considering all the factors. So for us, it's really important. We are very connected to our families, so we go back to Brazil very often. Like I would say, it's not as often as we wished, but it's something that we feel comfortable when we have like some big events or something that we say that, oh, in the future we are gonna feel like, oh, we missed that, so we try to plan accordingly and travel to Brazil. And I'd say like for us, in a midterm, long term, we have like this dream of going back to Brazil and being able to be closer to our parents, our
Mhm.
like our whole family, our friends from Brazil, and also uh, the perfect plan would be like being like close to our hometown. And so we have family in Brasilia, we have family in Natal in the northeast of Brazil, we have family in São Paulo, and we have a lot of friends like everywhere. And this is something that, yeah, we would like to have that in the future. We have a lot of good points, so I want to emphasize that in Brazil. So if you're living in Brazil and you didn't have the experience to live abroad, maybe you think that, for example, for the health system in Brazil is something that when you are abroad, for example, in Germany, I was like comparing a lot because I had access to a very good health system. And also, if you we were talking about brushing our teeth.
Yeah.
So this is something that you're gonna feel if you live abroad. You're gonna feel the difference also in the service, customer service that you have in that area.
True.
So for example, in Brasilia, when I take blood, um, I have pão de queijo afterwards and with some coffee, right? And they are
And the
like,
orange juice, and the
yeah,
orange juice always.
exactly. So, and you're not gonna have that in any other country, I guess. So those kind of like small things, they are really beautiful that I'm really proud of in Brazil. And we always so we have some American friends, so we have uh, some of them that they are really close to us. And since the beginning, they were asking a lot of our about our country. And something that we did really well, I guess, especially with the food that my wife like was cooking some good stuff. They were so in love that they said, "Hey, next time that you plan to go to Brazil, please let's plan together, and then we can go with you." So we said, "No, okay,
Oh,
maybe
nice.
let's see." And then, out of a joke, back in May or June of this year, like I guess beginning of June of this year, uh, we went with like two more couples to Rio first, and then we were like showing some of the touristic parts and also some of the local stuff. And then we went to Brasilia and Chapada dos Veadeiros.
Oh,
So
nice.
we saw a lot of waterfalls and everything like, and they have the whole experience with feijoada, pão de queijo,
Nice. Oh.
pastel, and they experienced the festa junina that we have in
Oh,
Brazil.
very
So
nice.
after like around like 10 days, they were so in love, they were willing to move to Brazil and like, or maybe planning a retirement in the future in Brazil.
I can imagine. And you mentioned about the customer care. I think the customer care in Brazil might be the best ones in the world because people, they go beyond they
Yes.
can do. He said, okay, this is your challenge. This is what I can do. But wait a minute. Then he do more. And I think we have this in our culture, right? I remember one of my feedbacks here in Germany from one of my managers were that I never say no to a job. I told him back, I can never imagine to say no to a job. He said, no, but people here can say no. They do say no if it's out of the scope. I said, but I cannot even imagine to say no because we are the ones making even beyond, right? And I don't know why. Maybe it's in the culture. We go beyond.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but very nice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So something that you said, for example, when I was in Germany, I felt that I was doing my job. Sometimes someone was like asking, so let me give an example. So if I am the responsible for this bottle of water, uh, and I am the responsible for the just the bottom of the bottle. If somebody asked me anything about like the whole body of the bottle, I'm gonna try to find the information. I'm gonna run for that, and then if you ask to a German and he is the responsible of the bottle of the bottom of the bottle, uh, and you ask anything about like, oh, what's the color of this, and is it gray? Sometimes he's gonna say, I'm not the specialist, I cannot answer this, and that's it. So
Yeah,
this is something that was a little bit of a shock for me in the beginning,
yeah,
but then you understand that it's like so many years, it's part of the culture. It's not that they are being rude, it's just that the way that they were like raised, right? So and this is
exactly.
beautiful,
Yeah.
right?
It is, it is. In the end, we learn also the good things, right? Because we learn about our limits. So Sunday, you mentioned about Sunday. Sundays, I used to do my shopping also on Sundays to buy food and so on. And here I learned that is the ruhige Tag. So is the calm day. And now I learn to be more calm on Sundays to really enjoy that. So there is also good sides when we learn from this cultural shock. Well, there's so many questions I'd like to do, but maybe we can also plan a second round.
Yes, yes, for
And
sure.
yeah, that's very nice. And maybe let's finish then with an advice. Let's finish with an advice for somebody who is looking for an international career, independent of the country. They want to look for an international career. Do you have any advice for somebody who is dreaming this, living and working abroad?
Yes, so I would say the key is like plan, research a lot, do a lot of research on the like maybe the possible countries that you would consider to live, and also try to, so if you're part of a company that they have this type of programs as well, that you can like maybe align with the HR or also your direct manager, that you have a path and then you can grow. I would say on the personal side, if you are like if you're single, you can think about like by yourself. But if you have a partner, you need to plan together since the beginning. Like the earlier that you start planning, the more like the higher is going to be the chance to be successful living abroad, right? So so I would say, Caro, that we need to understand that there is no, and this maybe is a little bit controversial, but like for me, it's like there is no right or wrong path. So if you decided to live abroad, and then after your original plan was like, okay, I'm going to be there for 3 years, and then after 6 months or maybe 1 year, you found out like, oh, this is not what I was expecting to have, and then I need to go back. You can plan to go back as well. So there is no right and wrong, and all the challenges and maybe some difficult situations that you might face could be like during the time, I know that it's really hard, but you can learn from that as well. And we did that. I know that if we compare all the countries, everybody asks. So every time when we go back to Brazil, they place the same question, like, which country is the best to live? And we
Mhm.
cannot like answer that because there are pros and cons in every place. I see a lot of beautiful stuff here in the US. For example, in Germany, also Argentina, and also Brazil, but also a lot of challenges that we faced in those countries as well. So I think if I'll give an advice, the key word is plan.
That's really good. And also the research you mentioned makes totally sense because then it's about finding the pros and cons and evaluating if we can live with the pro and the cons, especially the cons, right?
Yes.
Lack of sun
Yes.
and, and the winter. Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you so much. Thank you, Cadu, for your time, for sharing your experience. And I'm looking forward to the next videos with you as a host. So welcome to the officially to the corporate talk.
I'm really excited and I feel honored to be part of this great idea of the corporate talk because when we are talking about professional side, it's always connected to the personal side. So there is
Exactly.
no way to get them like split apart. So yeah, it's always good to talk about that. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. And then we will see us.